Welcome to the Memorabilia Network. I'm Dan Nelles. Joining me today is Mr. Stan Miller. Stan Miller is a native of Los Angeles, California, and we met a few months ago, I believe, with some interesting items that you brought to our attention.
Yes.
So tell us about you first, Stan. So you're born and raised here in LA?
No, actually I was born in Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh, excuse me, okay.
Yeah, and I came here when I was 9 years old with my other siblings. And went to all the local schools here in LA.
Yeah.
And I was into sports, you know, back in, I was 1968 when I graduated. That's when Marlin Briscoe was
right.
inducted.
We're gonna get to Marlin. So and the reason why we're here today, actually.
Yeah.
So what were your favorite sports when you were in high school?
I ran track.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ran track. In my first year, we won a city championship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Was that around the time of Rayford Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah-ish?
Yeah, this was like 1966.
Okay, a little before his time.
A little
then,
before,
probably.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you contacted us because you had some footballs that originated from a man named Marlin Briscoe.
Correct.
And I knew of this man, but I'm also, in doing my further research, I was very surprised to find out that there isn't more really written about him, or he's not as recognized as much as he really should be.
Exactly. Well, even in high school, early on, that name was out there, but it was brief. It wasn't,
Right.
not until my friend and I, until we were in the right place at the right time. And then all of a sudden it just opened up a whole new world that a lot of us didn't even really know where this guy came from and then how he ended up. Because his story is amazing.
It really is. So, Marlin Briscoe is the first black man to play quarterback in professional football.
Exactly.
And he was actually born in Oakland, and his family moved to Nebraska.
Right.
He ended up going to university in Omaha, broke a whole bunch of school records there. And at the time, as a football player, he was a quarterback. When he was in college.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And he did really well.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day, they have a statue of him
right
there,
right.
So I was like, yeah.
So back in the day, there was two professional leagues. There was the AFL and the NFL. They had actually merged on paper already, but they weren't yet playing together until 1970. So in 1968, Marlin Briscoe, after breaking all these records in college, gets drafted into the NFL by the Denver Broncos.
Right.
And so he wanted to play. They wanted him to play cornerback, and he said no. He wanted to
play quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. So. What happened when he got to Denver?
He ended up, they had these other quarterbacks, one of them got injured, and he came in and he just did some amazing things. And I think that's when the name, the Magician came to be.
That's right, his nickname, yeah.
So
I mean, it's interesting because in professional sports, oftentimes, players get injured and they don't want to say that your space gets taken, but it's always the next man up.
It's always.
Yeah.
It's always the next man up. And so he's as far as, trailblazing. This guy was the real deal.
Oh, absolutely. He spent 9 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Once they merged, and he actually still to this day holds the Denver Broncos rookie record for the most touchdowns thrown in a season. By a rookie quarterback. Yeah.
So.
And they wanted to go in a different direction. In 1969, the Broncos did, so Marlin asked for his release.
Exactly.
And he got picked up by the Buffalo Bills, one of my favorite teams.
Right.
But he went on to star as a wide receiver for almost a decade in the NFL after that.
And he did quite well with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did quite well with that. And what an amazing athlete, because from 1968, being a black quarterback, those things were really like unheard of.
Of course.
For all the reasons that we know today. But obviously everything has changed.
For the better.
For the better, because you see all of this talent out there, man. It's still coming.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, but he, by far, you know, I think that he should probably, you know, maybe have a little bit more recognition from where, you know, where he was coming from, you know. So, but yeah, and he accomplished a lot in his lifetime. I mean, of course, he went through a lot of stuff that you know, unfortunately, you know, and but James and I, my brother, we had acquired these footballs. 3 years ago?
So yeah, so you came across football. So oftentimes when a player has a great game, they'll be presented a game ball
yeah.
for their achievements. And you came across some of Marlin's game balls and also some team signed footballs for the teams he was on.
Yeah.
So how did those come into yours and James's possession? James is here, everyone. He's just off camera. So
Yeah.
hi, James.
Hi, James. Yeah. Well, we were doing a job actually, and his ex-wife.
Marlin's ex-wife.
Marlin's ex-wife. There was this trunk. And so we opened up the trunk and said, "Oh wow, what's this?" You know. And at the time, it didn't, like Marlin Briscoe. The name sounds familiar, but it didn't click.
Right.
You know. And then all of a sudden, after we had gotten the ball, she said, "No, you guys can have the balls." You know. So we did our research, of course, and said, "Wow, I remember this guy."
Yeah.
You know. And the more and more we did. And but I think when we met, I think I mentioned to you that we tried to contact, and which we did, part of his family, the college that he went to,
Right.
but there was really no response.
Interesting.
Because we were really trying to give them back.
Right. Well, and also too, I mean, you think about the sort of, you know, the landscape of sports. I mean, his accomplishment is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, that's surprising. I mean, we're very thankful to have the balls for our auction that they're in currently, but it was still very surprising to me that, you know, to me, they are pieces of true history.
Oh, no,
sports.
it's no doubt.
Yeah.
It's no doubt. And you know, it's ironic, too, because I mentioned to you that we actually had his helmet from the Miami Dolphins, but somehow it disappeared.
Right.
We don't have no idea what happened to it.
Someone took it to go play with it in the yard, probably.
Somebody. We just don't know who.
Yeah.
But and we put that stuff on the shelf, you know, and then all of a sudden, the last Super Bowl, you know, and Herm Edwards on First Take, he was mentioning Marlin Briscoe more than one time. And then the light bulb just went back on.
Right.
And then we went in the garage and pulled out these balls.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are a really fantastic piece of history. In order to check them out and have a look at them, you can go to www.tmnauctions.com. They're currently up for bid in our Greats of the Game auction, and we're expecting great things, just like Marlin achieved in his career.
Yes, and so we're very thankful that you know that we have this opportunity to put these things out there, because they are you know, historical stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, and we're very proud. You know that you know, to come across some stuff. You know, like I said, we tried to give it back.
Right.
You know, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
So you know, so here we are.
Yeah. Well, we're very happy to have them, and thank you very much, Stan, for your time today. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Pleasure to have you here, and you're welcome anytime, of course.
Sounds good.
For more information, please visit www.thememorabilianetwork.com and www.tmnauctions.com, and we will see you next time.